Hey guys, let's understand industry structure analysis or Porter's 5 forces analysis as strategic framework for value chain analysis. Due to large or growing industry, it is difficult to yield high profits. So that Michael Porter has suggested 5 factors which play an important role in profit potential of the firm in the industry. Bargaining power of buyers is the first force of the industry structure analysis. It determines the ability of buyer to push the price down. It happens when the buyers are concentrated or when the volume purchased by buyers is very high. Buyers are concentrated means very few buyers buy companies most of the products. So company has to retain those buyers and they win. Another reason could be high volume purchase or bulk purchase. In this case, company has to provide discounts. That means whenever the buyer's bargaining power is high, they decide the terms. Further, if the cost of switching suppliers is very low, then the buyers have high bargaining power. This leads to lower profitability for the company. Generally, large companies have a high bargaining power when they buy from small suppliers. Very true, right? The next force is bargaining power of suppliers. The bargaining power of supplier is relatively higher when the input is important to the buying firm or when there are very few suppliers of the input. Suppliers may take advantage of buyer's need. Clear? The suppliers could also dictate terms if the input supplied is not replaceable or when an alternate input is not available. Example of Microsoft is given in the module that Microsoft dominates the operating system business of computers and laptops and can dictate terms to its buyers as buyers do not have multiple options to choose from. It can shrink the profitability of the firm. Are you getting it? Threat of substitute products or services is another force. When multiple and close substitutes are available in the market for a particular product, customers are likely to switch suppliers easily. A firm in such a case must resort to competitive pricing to retain its customers. It is kind of perfect competition market or monopolistic or oligopoly. When few substitutes exist for a product, consumers are willing to pay a potentially high price. If close substitutes for a product exist, then there is a limit to what price customers are willing to pay. The problem becomes severe if substitutes are available at much cheaper price. You may remember Reliance Jio launching, right? So that a company should strive to build its brand and customer loyalty to thwart the threat of substitutes. Thwart means to stop. And as you know, brand has its own power to retain the customers. Even substitutes could be from within the industry or from a different industry. For example, the paper industry faces threat from e-book market or more people switch to public transport as trains, the demand for vehicles comes down. Understood? The threat of new entrants is one of the forces of 5. It largely depends on the barrier to entry and perceived profitability in an industry. If an industry is profitable and the barriers to entry are low, new firms could enter the industry leading to excess supplies and reduced prices. Some examples of barriers to entry are intensive capital requirement, sophisticated technology, legal factors, limited access to raw material and labor, etc. Industries which require huge amount of capital or sophisticated technical know-how might not have high threat of new firms entering into the industry. Airline industry is a case where very few new firms enter the business because of the capital requirements. Another barrier to entry could be legislation which restricts newer firms to start the business, like in the case of defense industry. Certain industries, for example medicines, are largely driven by patents and new firms might find it difficult to enter the industry. An industry where threat of new entrants is low is more profitable than an industry where new entrants can easily enter the industry. Clear? Intensity of competition or rivalry amongst firms is the last force of Porter's 5 forces model. The competitive rivalry is higher when an industry has high number of firms and is lower when there are few large players dominating the market. In highly competitive industries, firms resort to cutthroat competition to win more customers. The intensity of competition is higher when firms are of more or less equal size. Due to equal size, they can compete each other very easily. The intensity of competition is higher when extra capacity exists in the industry. That means demand is lower than the supply. It leads competition as each firm of the industry wants to sell its own product. The intensity of competition is higher when there is difficulty in differentiation in the products. That is, almost similar products make competition intense. The intensity of competition is higher when there are high exit barriers. This is a case where the exit costs are higher and hence firm must continue in the industry despite excess capacity at industry level. The intensity of competition is higher when there is higher fixed cost. Firms would want to produce as much as possible to keep the unit cost low, leading to surplus capacity. Then it leads higher supply and higher capacity. Understood? These 5 forces are ever changing as competition is a dynamic process and industry structures are constantly being reformed. Thus, it needs to be employed as a dynamic analytical tool. Hope you are clear with the concept. Now, can an IS or IT, that means information system or information technology strategy, be appropriate to counter Porter's 5 forces? For the answer, check out the video part 11 of this chapter. Hey guys, hope you have learned from this video. So please like and share the video, comment if you have any doubt or a suggestion, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Keep watching, keep learning. In short, it is quick. Thank you.